Hey guys, what's going on? B-Side here, and today I'm going to be talking about Neon Genesis Evangelion's relationship with Freud, and in particular, his shadow theory. So, someone brought this to my attention, and it made me think about it, where he told me that he believed that Evangelion, after watching my video with Evangelion Freud, that Evangelion is actually more prevalent with Jung theory than in Freud theory, and I thought that was actually pretty interesting. Now, this is my conclusion to it. I believe that Freud is more obvious in Evangelion, but Jung might be there more, but it's just more subtle in the way he being Hideki Anno, the creator, writer, director, put him in there. And that's the cool thing about Evangelion is that has these moments of subtlety and it can be big. People very focus a little too much on how big it can be sometimes, in my opinion. But it's actually an extremely subtle show at certain points, and I'll probably make an episode just on that. So, what is the shadow? So the shadow is simply our repressed aspects of ourselves that we keep in the back, our true selves, perhaps, or parts of our true selves. So Jung said there was a persona that we all have. A social mask is not true. It's not really who we are. It just allows us to connect to the outside world, or function in the outside world, where the shadow is our true aspects of ourselves. And the problem is most people get too caught up in this persona. And actually, the character that probably does, every character in Evangelion does this. I'd say the two characters do this the most are Asuka and Misato. Now, Asuka is very caught up in her persona. She believes she loves being this aggressive, tough, just strong, bold-headed young lady. But on the inside, she's really torn. She's really conflicted. She's super envious of Shinji, which this is her shadow right here. She's just envious of Shinji because she tries to use him as a measuring stick. If she can do better than him, then she sees herself as good. But if she's doing worse than him, she sees herself as bad because she just thinks that Shinji should be below him. But in reality, he just beats her just about in every way possible. Maybe outside of having overconfidence. But even inner confidence-wise, Shinji is a lot tougher than Asuka. And I'll go more into both of these characters in other episodes, but you can see that causes ambivalence in Asuka. She has all these just really conflicted feelings about Shinji and about just life in general, about herself, that she's just not really allowing herself to even think about or feel. And that causes her biggest pain in the show. That's really what causes her neuroses. That's what the shadow really causes when you don't really go into it. It causes neuroses in people. Now, for Shinji, well, I'm going to talk about Misato real quick first. So Misato's shadow is actually very simple. She is an interesting character, but what she's all about is pretty simple. She loves it. She has ambivalence too with her father, and that causes ambivalence throughout her whole entire life. She has an electric complex, so she loves and hates her father. She loves her father for saving her life, and he died for her. But she hates the fact that he was just never there. And that causes issues with her relationship. She can't be with Kaji because she realizes that she loves him because he reminds her of her father. And that's a bit heavy. A little bit too heavy for her. So Shinji, what is his shadow? According to Anno, his shadow is in fact Rei. So this is one of the mistakes I think people make with Shinji, is that to understand him, you gotta look at him through the lenses of or look at, just in general, Asuka and Rei. And he's really a part of them too. Asuka is kind of his twin flame, and like Anno said, Rei is his shadow. So when you look at Rei, and you can kind of look at Shinji and see the unconscious aspects of him, kind of the parts of him that doesn't understand himself, doesn't understand what he is, why he's here to do what he needs to do, his repressed feelings about his father. He sees Rei as having a relationship with his father that he really desires, that he really wants to go after, when in reality, Rei knows that Gendo really doesn't love her, but Gendo's just using her as a means to an end. And that's one of the interesting aspects of Rei, is that she's kind of just this empty vessel, this character who's just not alive. And that represents a part of Shinji that just feels broken and not alive, which is really the point of shadow work, is to bring out these parts of you so you can become a whole and complete person and really feel alive. So speaking of Ano said something really interesting, that Karu was his Jungian shadow. And when you dig into that, it's a little interesting. Because you look at Ano's career, he's like a peaceful, chill dude. But he's also very philosophical. And he's created all these programs and films and television shows with instruction, from his debut with Nakisa to you got obviously Evangelion, to all the way to Shin Godzilla a couple of years back. All these just epic fighting. Well, I guess outside of Kara Kane knew his and her circumstance. That anime did not happen. High school romances tend not to be super eventful in that manner, but. You can see where the connection with Karu could be, where Karu's kind of the same way, this philosophical kind of chilled guy, but obviously he has this real deep inner world as well, and he obviously also has this appetite for destruction, as we all were able to see. So, also going into the Shadow, a lot of people believe this, and this is also interesting to me, that the Evangelions represent the unconsciousness. The unconsciousness. The unconscious. So, LCL represents the libido, and the soul inside Eva 01 represents part of Shinji's Amiya, and the soul inside Eva 2 represents Asuka's Emiya, and Rei is part of Shinji's Amiya. So, Eva 00 does not have a resonant soul, and AT field represents a barrier between consciousness and unconsciousness. So, to me, AT fields basically represent, when you boil it down, the barrier between really connecting with somebody. We really, because we all have, and I'll go into this when I talk about Schopenhauer next, but you got basically our conscious selves wanting one thing, and our unconscious wanting another thing. This creates a split. Like, you could consciously want a relationship and see and think that that's good for you, but emotionally speaking, unconsciously speaking, you really don't want anything to do with that. Yeah, there's other things that you can label that too. Like, you consciously believe that making money is a good thing, but unconsciously you have these hang-ups. A lot of people have these psychological hang-ups about money and how it's quote-unquote evil and whatnot, and that's gonna hurt you because you basically got these aspects of you going in two separate directions. And I think that's really what the AT fields represent. Really a beautiful, beautiful concept within the show that I really quite enjoyed. And, well, let me talk about a couple of people. Like, Risaku has her shadow too, obviously. Her shadow would be kind of like, actually very similar to Misato's. She's on Electric Complex too. This one's more geared towards Gendo. She likes him, but also in a father figure way to kind of substitute for her issues. Her mom was with Gendo. And then Gendo's shadow side is the fact that he actually believes he's a horrible person. He knows he's a cold guy, and he hates himself for what he's done to Shinji, and just how he just failed and completely failed him as a father. And then, what's cool is to think about is that the Evangelions really are a myth about Ano in anime form. And how? Well, I mentioned the destruction aspect of him, but also you got the soul part of them. These Evangelions have souls of their pilots, or part of the souls of their pilot's parents. Obviously, Rei has no soul in there because she doesn't have a parent, because she's not really fully human. But it's really cool to really think about that for a second and really see that these kind of represent who Ano is on an unconscious level, and what they do kind of just is who he is on some deep, deep level. So the shadow in Evangelion is actually super present. And Jung in general is actually very, very present in Evangelion. I think it's actually more interesting to dive into the Jungian aspects of Evangelion than it is to really do it, even Freud or Schopenhauer. But I still like Schopenhauer, so I'll do that next week. So, thank you for listening to this video. Please, this helps a lot. Just like, please, comment, subscribe. Check out my web novel, Orange and Blue. Check out my Patreon page. I'm going to be putting some cool incentives on there, some cool stuff. And this has been fun, guys. I can't wait to make another video. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.